Big Mac value meal from McDonald's, or the purchase of some great games found on the Steam Black Friday sale. And welcome, everyone. This is F5 Dad Reloaded, and I want to give you guys some of my personal favorites, all under $5 or less. And for anybody, and for you guys out there who know me, I don't actually stick to one genre or another. I will actually play nearly any type of game out there. So the list I'm about to provide crosses multiple different genres of games and would highly recommend to everybody to expand your gaming knowledge and not just stick with one genre or another, as you might actually discover your favorite. So before I dig into this, guys, do me a favor, click the subscribe button, ring the bell, so you know anytime I go live or post a new video. And if you like the content I provide, click the comment button. And as always, guys, let's get into this. So as I did with my last Black Friday game sale, I'm going to follow the same format. I'm going to rapid fire a list of recommendations and game videos and provide commentary. And at the end, do some final thoughts, and let's see what I got. Okay, so let's start off with Torchlight 1 and 2. So if you're a fan of the dungeon crawling, loot grinding type games such as Diablo, even Grimoire, these games are going to be right up your alley. That's what it's all about. Having a hub town, multiple different characters, amazing weapons, spells based, on what type of character you want to play, and then ultimately just starting and going down as far as you can, fighting bosses, eventually beating the game. When you truly think about Torchlight 1 versus 2, yeah, 2's much bigger, more acts, more characters, better monsters, better loot. But the one thing I really like about Torchlight 2 is it does offer Steam mod support. So you're going to have endless adventures, endless time, especially if you're enjoying what you're doing around the Torchlight series. So up next, we got Sunset Overdrive. So this is a very, very interesting game. I didn't know what to expect when I played through this game. But easiest way for me to sum this up, it is a third-person, open world. But think of Tony Hawk Pro Skater with weapons, because that's exactly what this is. It is fast-paced, a lot of monsters, a lot of weapons. In fact, probably some of the weirdest and best weapons I've seen in a game, but you're going to be grinding everywhere you go, jumping on telephone wires, going back and forth. So the game's real fast-paced, quick. Might take a little bit to get used to the controls. I think that's what I struggled with initially, was the control set. What can I say with this next game? Jack Black. I'm just going to stop there. I'm not even going to say anything else. But honestly, guys, brutal legend. And you play Jack Black, or his virtual character. He is a roadie in a band. And he gets kind of in this fantasy world. And he has this kind of big axe. He also has his guitar where he can solo. He plays solos, kind of unlocks some things. Such as a car you kind of race around. I forget what they call the car. But, kind of, really good action, combat, third person, open world. The one thing I didn't like about it, though, is it does also offer real-time strategy that's mixed into it. And very strange for this type of game, but you may like it, you might not. But that's one thing I didn't like. But overall, I did enjoy the game. So, Titanfall 2. So I can't tell you guys, out of all the campaigns I've played throughout my years, Titanfall 2 probably ranks up there. Probably in my maybe top 3 or even maybe top 5. I don't know. I truly have to think about it. But as far as campaigns go, so I loved it from start to finish. Normal soldier, you come across the mech, or what they call BTs. And you take control of it. So throughout the entire campaign, you are going to run through multiple different BTs, customizing them, some amazing weapons. Love the combat, especially when you're in your BT. And you're going to have a lot of one-on-one action against the AI or other BTs. And amazing game. So Alice Madness returns. So basically, you're going to play Alice, and it's a psychological third-person horror type game, and you're investigating the murder of your parents. And what I can say, guys, is don't judge a book by its cover, because this game was fantastic. Just something about it, from the combat to a lot of puzzles. So, you're not going to have just straight up combat. There's some puzzles you got to solve. Nothing that was too complex, but overall, this game was, it was something special, and kind of I hold to this day, because it was a game I did not expect, but I gave it a shot, and I couldn't put it down. So what do you take when you take the fun of Halo and you take the love of real-time strategy and you mix it together? Well, you got Halo Wars, and this is the definitive edition. And yeah, so it has some top-notch cutscenes, you know, what you'd expect from Microsoft, and some awesome real-time strategy. You know, the one thing I really liked about this game, so if you're a controller player, not a keyboard and mouse, I can't tell you, they built this game for the controller. Now, of course, keyboard and mouse always works, but they did it because they kind of released this on the console, and, you know, it was very hard to do keyboard and mouse, obviously, on a console, so they built it ground up using a controller, and it just works. Give it a shot. You'd be amazed. And what we got next is Battlefleet Armada 2. So this takes place in the Warhammer universe. If you love your ship combat, just buy it, because I can tell you the ship combat in this game is amazing. Huge ships. Of course, you know, they move like tanks, so, you know, it's not like fast-paced combat. The one thing I didn't like, and it's no fault of the game, it's just fault of myself, is there's so much going on, I just could not control all the action at once, as you can see on screen. But that's no fault of the game. You know, it's just I wouldn't set my control groups up right. And but massive space warfare, and if you're a fan of that type of combat, you're gonna love this game, or at least in my opinion. And after that, so we got Watch Dogs 1 and 2. Again, both games under $5. You basically play as a hacker, and you know, it's kind of a stealth type game, and you can pretty much hack everything, and it's just like a click of a button. So it's not like this true hacking. You know, of course, it's kind of fake, but it was fun. You know, what I mean by that is, yeah, you're being chased by the cops, say you're in you know, they're chasing you on the road. All of a sudden, you know, as you're flying by, you can just click one button and you can hack the traffic lights, and they would turn green and traffic would just go and, you know, smash into the cars, or you can ignite pipes under the ground so it just blows up and, you know, launch the cop car in the air, however you want to say it. You can also hack anybody you see in the game. I mean, not like take them over, but you can kind of just learn about them. Maybe you can steal some money if they got it in their accounts, but it was just a fun game. I enjoyed it. And finally, guys, you already know me. If you watched my last video, I definitely talked about the Dead Space remake. So this is the continuation of the series. This is Dead Space 2 and Dead Space 3. You can get both, each of them under $5. And yeah, I mean, if you enjoyed the first one, just buy the next two, because you will not be disappointed. It continues the story from the first one. And, you know, it's the same type of combat that I guarantee you grew to love, and you just get more of it. And the stories were great, and I finished the entire trilogy. All right, everybody, so we're at the end of the video, and I just want to, you know, break it all down real quick, guys. So if you only, you know, if you could only buy maybe one or two, or, you know, not the whole list, but if you wanted kind of my picks based on my entire list that I just recommended, I would definitely if you could only get one, I'd go Titanfall 2, at least in my opinion. At the same time, you know, some other picks I would state would be the Watch Dogs 1 and 2, Torchlight 1 and 2, and obviously Dead Space 1 and 2. So out of all my picks, those would be the ones I would definitely key in on. By no means am I stating the other games aren't good, because I recommended them, right? But no, in saying that, guys, thank you for watching the video. Do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. And with that, guys, you know, click F5, reset and reload. I'm F5 Dad, and I will see you on the next video.